turn off the camera, feel free. So the recording has now started. Okay, well, before we go on, sorry, Simon.
I've dropped all the socials and all of our channel links in the chat as well, if you've not spotted them already.
Good stuff. Before we go on, I know, Henrique, you came on looking to find out specifically about exchanges. So we might just answer that first before I share my screen again, and Simon has some stuff to share as well. What exchanges have you been using, Henrique?
Well, crypto.com and then BlockTrade, they were the only ones that I've not been using yet. I'm just starting, so I must choose 2 or 3 BlockTrade to start with. And I'm trying to get some help on that. I'm trying to find some really reliable and credible exchange platforms. That's why.
Okay, well, personally, I use Binance. I use Binance because it is pretty big in Europe and the liquidity is fairly good. However, if you plan on leverage trading, I'm not sure if you plan on leverage trading, but if you do,
not leverage trading. No.
Yeah, I don't leverage trade either. I believe it's very poor for leverage trading, and that there's bots in there
for the moment.
That trade against you. But I find Binance to be very good, and I also use I don't just use Binance as an exchange. I use Binance for some of their savings accounts and some of their staking accounts as well. Now, as I will also say, don't always leave your crypto on an exchange, and make sure you have a hardware wallet as well, because exchanges can be hacked. You may have heard of FTX and how they went down before Christmas, and lots of people lost their money. So the general advice is don't leave too much on exchanges at all to take self-custody of your assets. Does anybody else use any other exchange?
Yeah, I use KuCoin as well as Binance. They have quite a lot of, if you're into alts, pretty good. I have used Coinbase a little bit, but there's a lot of scams associated, phishing scams associated with Coinbase. So I didn't go too far with that. Gate.io I've used. I don't really use that too much. There's a lot of, low and mid cap alts there too, but I'm not really trading that stuff now. So mostly Binance. I also do a bit of staking there, and that's pretty good. Like you said, Paula, they've good liquidity, and I don't leave too much on it. I think that's the key message here as well, to self-custody. So you might hear the dog yapping in the background. Binance would be my main one as well. So that's where I would start. I think it's probably a good place to start, but take your time. I mean, you can paper trade, I think, as well on Binance if you just want to get used to the actual trading side without committing any real money.
Nevertheless, some rumors have arisen or have gotten here about Binance. Some problems, some rumors. Maybe that doesn't affect the really trading negotiation, but I wonder if Binance will be the same within the near future.
So Binance in the States has issues because of regulations and stuff like that. But Binance around the rest of the world seems pretty okay, to be honest with you.
Okay. So not in the European Union.
No.
Right.
And they actually have their EU head offices here in Dublin. And I know that they have loads of jobs. Their jobs page here in Dublin is always full of jobs. So they can't really be in too much trouble here if they're hiring so many staff all the time.
One thing we will go through in a moment, Henry, I may as well share it now as we're on it. You can also get this information from one of the apps that we're going to look at. So I'll bring it up on screen. So we'll be taking a look at CoinGecko in a moment, but there is actually a tab on CoinGecko for crypto exchanges. And what it will do is it will give you a breakdown of all the different exchanges you can use So you probably recognise we've mentioned KuCoin, there's OKX, Kraken, and it will give you things like the volume that trades on them, how many visits they have a month, and they give you a trust score as well. So that might give you help, but I mean, you could probably see there's over 600, well, nearly 700 exchanges you could choose from. But what I would say is the smaller ones, you do tend to have liquidity problems. So even Gate.io, which I think was mentioned earlier, you can have some issues with the price that sellers are selling for and what you're buying for being quite a big gap because there's low liquidity. So there are a few other things to look out for, but that might be a useful resource for you when you're looking as well.
Simon, it's interesting because some major of the exchanges nowadays, they use cross liquidity. So they use the same liquidity than the big ones. But I was paying attention to one point, the number of the monthly visits. Is this data from CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap really good, or should we use a third part like website or app to check how many visits they have per website? Because I have been working for a while in exchange, and I know how data is make it up. So
yeah,
trading volume, number of monthly visits, and so on. So yeah. And just adding one point to this discussion, I tend to rely more on local exchanges than international ones, because at least local exchanges, they tend to be more compliant with the local regulation than the big ones. The big ones just go there and get the license, and they get license in every country they are. But the local exchanges, they used to be more compliant. But one point that is interesting to me, for example, when I started in crypto in 2019, I checked the Brazilian exchange at that time, and they basically had nothing to offer. Like buy BTC, ETC, Ethereum, and like 3 more coins with high fees. So sometimes they are more compliance, they are better, but better in questions of compliance and trust. But the point is they don't have many products and really high costs. So we keep going for the international ones, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, exchange-wise, I think the data you asked about that's pulled from an Israeli company called SimilarWeb. But I mean, when you look at the different exchanges, I guess one of the things that will lead it is the type of coins that you're actually, or tokens that you're looking to purchase or trade, because you tend to find that some of the smaller tokens or lower market cap ones that appear on places like Gate or MEXC, or sometimes on KuCoin, whereas you tend to find Binance and some of the other bigger exchanges like Coinbase only list some of the larger market cap.
Sure, makes sense.
It depends what sort of thing you're trying to trade. But yes, good point, Victor. Yeah.
Jacinta, you mentioned Swissborg there.
Yeah.
Are you eating?
I'm still eating dinner. Yes, I've used Swissborg. Really smooth. It's quite a professional looking platform. I've never had any problem with them.
They have a token as well, don't they?
I believe they do. They came out with one. Haven't really invested in that, looked at that, but I just like when the exchanges are timely. You transact and it happens within minutes. I like that, and Swissborg's really professional.
I was just going to say, Synth, the other thing I quite liked about Swissborg was off-ramping. So if you want to convert your money, your crypto to fiat, and then put it into your bank account, it's really smooth. Swissborg. There's a couple of exchanges where it's a little bit more tricky. So again, when you're looking at exchanges, Henry, that's another thing to look at. How easy is it to get fiat money, cash on it? And then how easy is it if you want to get it off it again?
We have somebody mention as well. Robert, you mentioned Kraken.
Yeah, I mean, I've used Kraken for a few years, and I have a few bank accounts in Portugal, and I've never really had any issue with Kraken. So I have exchanges, accounts with all the exchanges, so I use Binance as well. But it's just hard to get fiat out of Binance. Whereas with Kraken, even within 30 minutes, I can sometimes get the money in and out because they have instant SEPA. And then most of the time it's just spent with the approval, and they're usually pretty quick as long as you're not withdrawing anything suspicious, and you got all your KYC in order, then the approval is really quick, and then it's instant SEPA, so it's like a matter of a minute, and it hits your bank account.
Excellent, excellent. And Sad, you mentioned MEX and Nexo. They're smaller ones. They're good for low caps.
That's true. I really like Max C because I can find really unpopular cryptos over there. And moreover, to be honest, when I buy crypto, if I'm interested in something, I just go to CoinGecko and I search for the exchange with the highest volume there. And I also check if the trust score of the exchange is quite high. And then I just buy it there and I transfer it either to a hot wallet on my computer or to my ledger. And Nexo, on the other hand, is quite good because you can stack the crypto over there without even willing to stack them. So you get every day a specific interest rate of 1%, 2%, depending on the amount you have. And you have, moreover, the option to stack your crypto for a fixed amount of time, and then you get a much higher yield.
Okay, and are they good for on-ramps and off-ramps? So getting fiat on and off with?
I'm not that far in crypto so far.
Okay,
but I
okay.
think they would be, because they actually act like a bank, and they have all the required regulations in Europe, so they have a very, very good trust rate.
Yeah, Nexo have got a card link to it as well, so you can also use it, spend crypto on a debit card through Nexo. The app's quite nifty as well. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. And the support is quite great. So if you run into any problems, you just shoot them an email and they answer immediately. So I can really, really recommend them. I also posted a link in the chat. So if you're interested, you can check it out.
Excellent.
And
Jacinth, you have your hand up.
Moreover, Nexo is cool, I think, because you can buy only the top cryptos over there. So it's obvious they are not trying to do any fraud or anything. They do a thorough investigation of each crypto before they list it on their exchange.
Okay. Jacinth.
Yes, I just wanted to say, Sad, thank you for that, because that's a really good
You're welcome.
explanation, a really good methodology that the platform conducts itself. It's really helpful to know for those still doing research. One thing I would say I've learned from the last bull run, however long that spans, half the time I didn't know I was actually in the bull run, apparently it was that when you actually do want to try an off ramp, the one time I tried, Binance went down, Coinbase went down. So then I realized I can't just stick to these two. I need to have 5 or 6 registration completed, all the ID, and uploaded all your ID evidence. You need to be prepared. You need to be really prepared and have a good 5 or 6 of them so you can move around in case 1 or 2 of them crash, or just the volume just makes them go down.
I totally agree with that, Jacinth, because I had a similar, when Theta token went up to around $17, it's about $1 at the moment. I had it on crypto.com and I was desperately trying to sell it, and crypto.com just kept going down. So I was stuck, and then it dipped down.
You and 10,000 others.
Yeah, it dipped down to $14. So I held a bit of it, but I could have had, I think it was $17.50. But yeah, just wouldn't let me.
And you just watch that window of opportunity get smaller and smaller and close. It's so painful.
Yep. When the market's melting, there is no place to run. Unfortunately, there is no place to run at all. I remember, I think that 2020, 21, there was one day that was like bleeding, and I was in front of the computer and could do nothing. Nothing was working.
Yeah, Coinbase went down,
Lots
finance went down.
went
a lot, I
down.
remember it.
Yeah. Another thing to say as well for when you're off ramping is that if you're off ramping a sum greater than, well, I suppose now with all the new legislations coming in, I think that sum is nearly capped to about 3,000. If you're actually off ramping a substantial sum, and yeah, regulations might say substantial is 3K, it would be best to actually also ring your bank in advance and let your bank know that this transfer is incoming, because they can stop them and flag them for money laundering, especially in the crypto sphere. So it's definitely worth a quick phone call to your bank when you're off ramping, if it's a substantial sum, to say, look, this is coming in from XYZ exchange, so that it gets through to you immediately and it's not held while they go through all the legal mumble jumble that they have to go through. So that's a pretty good idea. Prime XBT is a non-KYC exchange. Is that a decentralized or centralized exchange?
It's centralized Prime XBT.
Okay. Good luck with getting through your bank on the phone from Dorothy. Dorothy, have you had trouble? Yeah.
Just don't try and get it to anybody on the phone these days.
Paula, have you heard of Bit2Me? They're from Spain, and I talked to them once, and they seem to be serious and were like developing a lot of good stuff for like local community. Yeah, I like it to use their app and so on. They're not so huge, of course, but they seem to have been doing a good job in Spain. But I didn't dig deep to know if they're compliance and so on, so on. But I'd like to ask if there is anyone that knows them.
I've never heard of Bit2Me. Has anybody else heard of them?
Which one are you talking about? Which one? Can you spell it?
Just one moment, I'll drop a link here. Just
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that.
Good stuff. There's also then decentralized exchanges. So when you get your money on in the first place, centralized exchanges are all good and well, but they do come with the risks that we've spoke about. And if you're self-custodying, you can move your funds to decentralized exchanges such as Uniswap and PancakeSwap and all these other sort of decentralized exchanges. The only thing with that is that you're subject then to the fees of the blockchain. So if you're using Uniswap on Ethereum, you need to have the gas fees in your wallet to pay for your exchanges and stuff. And it can work out more expensive, and very often there isn't too much liquidity in them as well. They can suffer with liquidity problems. Victor's just dropped in there the Bit2Me, and he's asking about Irish exchanges. Is there any interesting ones? No, there isn't any interesting ones.
Short answer.
Yeah. We actually don't even have a crypto friendly bank, not one. So we don't, which is pretty disappointing, extremely disappointing.
I gave up. I'm with Revolut now. I gave up of the banks.
Yeah, Revolut is probably and they do crypto as well. Although I think they can be expensive to use for crypto.
Yes, all the places that are not crypto exchange, they are expensive. It's 100%.
Also, if you buy any crypto on Revolut, you can't offboard that onto an exchange, or it's stuck there. You have to trade it back into cash on Revolut, I believe.
It's the same than
I
buying
haven't
papers. It's not crypto, truly.
Yeah.
I think that's the same with PayPal, Henry. We don't have crypto PayPal Ireland yet, but it is available in the UK and some other places. And if you buy
Right.
crypto on PayPal, you can't off-ramp it there either.
Exactly.
Ah, you don't have PayPal. I was not aware of that. Because
Oh,
I
we do
use
have PayPal,
Yes.
but we don't have the crypto. PayPal has a crypto option, but they don't have it available in Ireland. They do have it available in the UK.
Okay. Thank you.
So that is another option as well. So it is. Okay, well, I think that kind of covers exchanges, Henrique. I hope that gave you some insight.
Thank you so much. Okay. That's all.
No problem. No problem. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. Oh, actually, before I will share my screen, but I'm going to share the second thing before I share the first thing. Let me come out of this slideshow. Okay, people. What we have this evening is we have our first certificate of attendance NFT for people to be able to claim. So this is the first time that we've done this, and we're going to start doing this every week. I'm going to drop the link into the chat. I can't get into the chat when I'm sharing screen. I'll stop sharing for a second. That's really weird. Okay, so these certificate of attendance, these are going to eventually have some value for you in terms of, we haven't fully actually decided what value they're going to have, but the likes of the premium courses that we do, we'll be giving discounts on them. We'll be upgrading our Telegram channel, and we'll be having a members only section in our Telegram channel. And by holding these, you get different access to different levels and different things. They're completely free. They're on the Polygon chain at the moment. And this is only going to be open for the next 45 minutes for people to claim. So that stops spam and it stops fraud and everything else like that. So if anybody wants to go ahead and claim our first certificate of attendance for this meetup this evening, please do so. It'd be great to see a couple of people claim them. So on that, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. And what I want to share, which is this evening, is a tool that I came across the other day that helps crypto traders. Okay, it's a crypto scan tool. It's called tradistics.com. And they have this just really cool crypto scan tool. So how many people here are actual would trade? Put your hands up or use one of the little emojis to get an idea. Let's have a look. We've got 2 hands up. 3 hands up. Okay, I'll go back to sharing. Well, this might help people, and I know definitely when we get into more of a bull run, people just get this FOMO for trading, and you know, they're seeing these green candles and they're jumping in and out of this, and it just happens that people just start trading even when they're not traders like myself, that they kind of just start dabbling when the markets are good. Quite often when the markets are good, you can't really lose too much. But I say that definitely with a word of caution. CryptoScan is a site that scans all the cryptocurrencies for different technical indicators and trading indicators. So if you're looking for something that you want to trade, on Simon's meetup last week, we had Jess on with us, and Jess pulled up a chart with us, and he was like, you know, I just go through charts and I try and look for patterns. And he could spend ages looking for a chart to find the pattern that he wants to find to be able to trade, or to find an indicator that's positives that he uses in his trading strategy. So this cuts out all of that time that you would spend scrolling through all of the different charts, looking for the different patterns or the different indicators to see what's showing bullish and what's showing bearish. So if I just scroll down here, we can see it shows all of the cryptocurrencies, the ranking, the name, the symbol, the price, 24-hour, 7-day change, the usual sort of shit, the volume, the market cap, and the circulating supply. And then we have these scan buttons. And when you click into this, it gives us some of the cryptocurrency signals, some of the trading signals that are there. So I've clicked into Bitcoin and it's showing us a green on the MACD divergence. This is also great if you're learning to trade, because it explains what the actual the signal actually is. So a MACD divergence is stock price and moving average convergence divergence indicator are showing a bullish divergence. So i.e. price is making new lows while the MACD is making new highs. This is generally a reversal signal. So if you trade using the MACD, if this is one of your, lots of people will have a trading strategy and they stick to that strategy. So if they can find something with a positive MACD, that might be their first, maybe it's probably their second indicator because it'd be more of a lagging indicator. But it has other indicators here as well. So the CCI is also showing green here. This is the commodity channel index, something I've never heard of before. This crossed the zero level to the upside and triggered a buy signal. The statistics is overbought, so there's a negative signal on that. And then there's also a positive wedge, descending wedge. These are calculated based on the last 3 months candles. Therefore, they're best visible on the monthly and the weekly chart. So each one of these is going to actually show something different. If we go into BNB, for example, we have this AV WAP resistance. It's something else I've never heard of. When the level starts going down, it could be a bearish signal. If it breaks out from a breakout, it would be bullish. So we have that in there. That's showing as a red. So that's a negative signal. Going through all of them, though, could also be quite time consuming. So going through all of the coins and clicking these. So what you can do is use the scanner signals. And the scanner signals allows you to actually just pick certain indicators. So if we go over to technical indicators, for example, and we wanted to see everything that's overbought by RSI, we turn on that indicator and it'll filter the list down. There's nothing showing up overbought in RSI at the moment. If we go to overbought on the stochastic, I can't pronounce that, it shows all of these are overbought with that particular indicator. So if that's an indicator you trade with, instead of looking through all of these charts, trying to find which one of these is overbought in this, which means that there's probably going to be a bit of a dip in the market, and you might be short selling. It lists all the tokens that have now hit this particular indicator. So it goes through all of the technical indicators in here. There's chart patterns such as triangles, bull wedges, bear wedges, bull flags, bear flags, different candlesticks, the doji, the hammer, the spinning top. I picked, what did I pick there? I picked the hammer. So we can see in here, if we were trading hammers, that it'll break it down for us and show us which one is actually showing a hammer candlestick at the moment. Moving averages, you've got anything above the 20-week moving average. We've got above the 200-week moving average. I see Bitcoin just about stead above the 200-week moving average at the moment. And you can pick more than one of these at a time as well. You also then in the filters have these other custom filters. So if you're looking to trade within a particular price range as such, you can put in a min price and a max price, minimum daily change, minimum weekly change, market cap, sector, volume, circulating supply. So it just seems to be a really, really good tool for people that are trading cryptocurrency, whether it be on a daily or a weekly or a monthly basis, that are using actual indicators and have a trading strategy, and they're sticking to that trading strategy instead of trying to go through all of these different charts all the time and find them, that they can come to a website like this and quickly scan and get the results that they're looking for. So I'm going to stop sharing that and I will drop a link for that into the chat now in a second. Fiona, you were saying is this a free crypto scan? Yes, it is free. Now they do have a premium account thing with it as well, which I haven't used. Everything that I showed you there this evening was completely free.
I think you're going on the landing page, aren't you, for what's it, Tradeetics, which is the initial website. If you go into CryptoScan, as Paula said, that section's free. The front page of it, though, does have paid accounts, which are about $700 a year. So
there you go. I've just dropped the link in.
Link.
So Fiona, I think that might help you. And yeah, anybody else that dabbles in a bit of trading and that has a trading strategy. I'm not sure if it has an app, Fiona or Henry. Sorry. I just use the website. I don't even use it that much. I've only just come across it in the last week. And I just thought it'd be a useful tool to share.
Yeah, they're saying here on the website that they have the.
Sorry, Victor?
Yeah, they're saying that they have the app in web, iOS, and Android.
Oh, okay. So they do have as well. Yeah. Fiona, do you have a trading strategy?
I'm only learning it at the moment. So I'm using what they call the slingshot. I don't know, do you know that?
No, tell us.
Well, I don't know it well enough to go through it, but it's basically when the market will be in the bull market, that's when you'll be buying, putting stop losses on. So yeah, I'm only learning it now, so you put me on the spot there, but when I
okay.
come on again, I will. Like, I just thought you might know it actually.
I'm not a trader, but I tell you what, Fiona, we'll give you a bit of homework, and when you come back to us at the next meetup, you're actually going to explain it to us in detail.
Okay, we'll see.
Well, I do know, and a little bit of advice that I can give you, because we've had traders on here. I have dabbled quite a lot in trading. Most often I've lost my socks because I can be emotional. I can zoom in too close on the chart. Zooming in too close on the charts can really be a killer. Is to pick a few indicators and a few strategies and then just stick with them. Because as soon as you start changing, chopping and changing and not letting your whole system play out, that's when things seem to go wrong for most people, including me.
Okay, great. Thanks for that.
No problem. What about trading with bots and or copy trading? I have never personally traded with bots or copy traded. Has anybody else here done that?
I've traded with bots. Didn't work out any different to normal trading. I still lost money.
And
what about now that we have AI?
I think that bots are really great when you're a developer, but when you are not, it's like you're buying a strategy that it works for someone, but maybe it's not yours. And trading, as you said, like you need to find what you like or what does fit to you and stick to it. And bots, it's nice when you are a developer or have someone to put your own strategy and program it. If not, I would say that's not a good idea.
Great advice, Victor. Bots take out emotion, it says here. Simon put in. Yeah, they can take out emotion and they can automate things as well, but you need to already know. You need to set a bot up, don't you? You still need to set up the strategy behind the bot.
A lot of the exchanges do pre-programmed bots as well, and you've got various different platforms that do them. But some people code their own bots, don't they? And I think that's one of those things where you take the emotion out, because you can do it completely out of the market, know what you're doing, set the bot up to let it go. But yeah, I've used some of the exchange ones, and they've not been massively successful. Sometimes it wins, sometimes it loses.
Yeah, because when you're like buying one strategy in the exchange, let's like move in average. Yeah, you are buying that strategy, but you are not running the back test and so on. So, for example, if you are developing one new strategy, you can run back test for 5 years or 3 years or 2 years, and you can know if your strategy is working or not. But normally when you're buying commercial products, commercial bots, we're not doing that. So basically, it's my opinion. Obviously.
I'm
I also
positive
believe,
against you, so
yeah, I also believe if people are selling bots, I actually don't understand traders selling bots saying I've made millions with this bot, and the pictures of them sitting on their yachts drinking their champagne with the girls in the bikinis standing behind them. Do you know what? If they've actually made that much money with their bot, what the fuck are they selling it for? They don't need the money. And chances are it's a scam. So just a heads up on that one.
There's also, I've actually tried a little bit of leverage trading on Binance a couple of years ago. I don't do much trading at all now, mostly just DCA. But when I did try, I became aware of stop loss sniping bots that would wick down into your stop loss just to wick you out. I think they're kind of based on looking at where people are placing their stop losses on trades, and then internal bots. Now, Binance have been accused of actually using this to basically automatically liquidate people or trigger their stop losses. So I don't do it anymore. Bots, I've never really had any great success with them. I've dabbled on gate.io, have some bots, but you have to set them up. But what works one day mightn't work the next. So it's a toss up. It's no better than gambling. that's my take. That's so.
Good stuff. Simon, you had a little bit of stuff you were going to share as well.
Yeah, I'll go through a few bits and pieces. It just links to the stuff that we were talking about earlier with CoinGecko. So what I thought I'd do is just do a very quick run through. So I will share screen. So this is generally for those of you that don't really use CoinGecko, or if you do use it, don't really use some of the other features in it. So there's quite a lot of stuff you can do with it. So the first thing is you've got the website for it, which is what we're going to go through. They've got a superb app as well, and the app's got a few more bits of functionality on it, such as price alerts. So we'll come on to that in a second. But here is the website. I will swap it to dark. That's much nicer on the eyes. So this is your landing page for it. So you do need to sign up for an account. There's no charge for signing up for an account. It's a free service. They do have a paid for subscription that will give you a couple of extra bits, but if I'm honest, the free service is perfect. So what you start with, you've got a number of stats at the top if you're interested. Gas price is always an interesting one. Bitcoin dominance and ETH dominance. And then you come down to the cryptos themselves. So you've got the coins and tokens down here. So there's quite a few bits you'll get on here. So the first thing is, if it's not automatically switched on, switch on show stats. And that just gives you what the market cap is and all the key bits. And then you've got the coins going down in order of market cap. There's quite a bit of information you can get on here. So each page generally shows 100 cryptos. So you've got the first top 100 here, and you can sort it. So these bits along the top here allow you to sort. So if we go for market cap, click on that, it will reverse it. And you can see the smallest market cap in the top 100 as well. You've also got a couple of bits around volume, so you can see how much has had, how much trading has been done on those particular cryptocurrencies. And then you've got the 1 hour, 24 hour and 7 day price actions. So if you want to see what something has done in the last 7 days, you can see there's one crypto that's jumped into the top 100 and has had a 200% gain in the last 7 days. 24 hours. If I click that again, you've got the bottom performers. So we'll just sort it either way and you can see what the top and bottom performers are. So that's quite useful, but let's go back to market cap where we started. So the other thing you can do is take a look at a bit more detail on a token. Now I'll pick one in particular just because it's had a lot of stuff happening recently. So I'll pick Render, which is 46th in the market cap. So what you can see on here, this will give you a breakdown of information on Render. So what you've got on here is a couple of things. You've got the range that it's been within the last 24 hours, so the high and low. You've got the market cap, which is made up of the circulating supply multiplied by the price. So again, we saw all of those rankings we first saw by market cap. And you've got some other information like the maximum supply, so you can see what's circulating and so on. We'll come back to this section on the right in a moment, but further down you've got the charts. So the charts will actually show you, and I think I've probably switched ETH on as well. This will actually show you the price action on this token. So what you can do is just under it, you can stretch that right the way back. So if we look at this particular section, you can see where it peaked there, and you can see what the price action has been since, when's this, probably January 22.
There's lots of volume on that, even compared to its peak.
Yeah, it's had a lot of, I think the Apple AR announcement, because it's renders cloud GPU services, so it's linked to the metaverse and stuff. Now they've switched from Ethereum onto Solana.
Onto Solana as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more workable because the fees on ETH are obviously a lot higher. So what you've got there is all of these figures. You can also swap to TradingView, and TradingView will give you a slightly different chart as well. So you've got various different options on here that you can select. You can also compare the price against BTC, so you can see how it's performed. If you're not factoring in as USD and you're looking against how it performs against Bitcoin, you can put that in for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then just below that, you've just got the last year's worth of performance. Right-hand side, again, a lot of the information we've already looked at, just summarized. And then as you go down, you've got a few other bits on here. So you've got related coins, so things that might be in a similar sort of area. You've got a breakdown of information on Render, and then exchanges that you can actually purchase Render on. So you'll get all of these, and you can see trading volume on that exchange, and also the trust score. So if that's red, I'd be concerned about liquidity or the trust of the actual exchange. And as you go down, you've then got links to things that are Render related. So guide, and then you've got some information on that might be of interest. So all of that information's on there if you're researching a token. The other bit that's really useful on the right-hand side here is you've got the website. So it's links to all of the socials, all of the website. You'll have on here as well the different blockchains it's on. And you can actually add this into MetaMask. So if you want to add it to your MetaMask wallet, rather than having to type in all the details of the token that you'd normally do if you add one, you can actually just click on Add to MetaMask, and that will stick it straight into your MetaMask wallet. Failing that, you can just copy the contract and do it yourself. And it does link to Chainlist, which Paul has gone through before, which shows you how to set up all of the different blockchains on your MetaMask. So that's the first part, which is all the cryptocurrencies. Conscious of time, there are loads of other things you can do with this. A couple of things that I'll show you quickly. You can set up a portfolio tracker. So what you'll see here is you've got a little star next to Ethereum. So you do have the option of setting up a number of different portfolios to track your crypto with. You don't have to go in and set it up in the portfolio tab. You can just click on the little star. So if I wanted to follow XRP, for example, I've created a portfolio called HODL. I can just add it to that. And that's now in my portfolio. What I tend to do is I'll mix my portfolio up. So I'll have HODL portfolio, which is stuff that I generally am not going to touch. I'll have my medium risk, or the one I might have a longer term trading strategy with. And then I'll have my high risk degen punts. that I'll have. So you can put things in that. So if I select Dogecoin, for example, I'll add it to a new portfolio and I'll call it DGen. Now, when I click on portfolio at the top and go to all portfolios, that's now created my HODL portfolio and my DGen portfolio. And if I wanted to add a transaction I've done, so if I've got, if I bought 5 Ethereum, for example, I'd stick that in there, the price I actually paid per coin or the total I spent. So if I put that I bought it a couple of years back, say 2021, and I've changed it to price, instead of price per coin, total spent. So that'll work out how much I paid for each of the coins. Submit that, and that'll add it into your portfolio. And what it'll also give you, which is useful, is your profit and loss on it. So you can actually see the transactions you've done, and it'll give you your profit and loss on that particular token. And it'll actually do this with your whole portfolio if you're tracking. So it's a really, really good way of watching what's in your portfolio and how it's performing. And each day it will give you a daily up and down as well. So a couple of the other things, conscious we've only got a few minutes. You do have compare coins. And this is quite interesting because if there's a smaller token or coin that you think is going to really rock it, you can compare. So if I pick, I'll pick Render because, yeah, sorry, go on, what one?
I was going to ask you to pick Coinos.
Coinos. Okay, so that is Coinos at the moment. If that was to match the market cap of
Cardano.
Cardano, yeah, you can see that at the moment the price of that is 54 cents. If it grew to a level where the market cap matched Cardano, which is an 883x, the price of Coinos would go up to $484. And it will show you the market cap there as well by comparison. So that's
see it on the yacht.
Example. Yeah, quite an extreme example, but that's quite useful when you're looking at the potential of growth in a token as well. We've already talked about exchanges. The thing I'll look at instead of the standard one that I showed you earlier is decentralized exchanges. So this just shows you the trading volume on the different decentralized exchanges. So again, you can see market share, various other bits and pieces, and it will actually take you to further details on those exchanges as well. You can see the gainers and losers. So what that will show when that clicks in is you'll be able to see which are the cryptos that have had the biggest gains and which are the ones that have had the biggest losses. Now, you can put that, if you don't want to look at top 1,000, you might look at the top 300. So you can see in the top 300, one of them that's performed better is Singularity. And you can see Render down there as well. And then losers, you can see Waves is the biggest loser out of the top 300. You've also got the opportunity of looking at different categories. So if you click on categories, you can look at the top performers in, say, meme coins. If we look at meme coins. So you've got various different options and it will give you a lot of further detail on there. And then the final thing, conscious of time, because we're at time, is you can also collect candies. So all this is each day you go in, every 24 hours it resets and you collect your candies. And those candies will build up. So each day you do it up to day 7, it will go up to 100. And then it will reset and go back to 10. Now, the reason you're collecting those is you can actually pick up different rewards from it. And one thing they did probably about 6 months ago was they gave you the option of getting a token early as an airdrop. So you did actually get an airdrop that was worth about $200, I think, at the time. And every now and again, they'll come up with things like NFTs you can pick up. You've got some guides that you can pick up as well, and discounts on certain things. Not all of these discounts are great, I'll say. So some of these you can get better affiliate links elsewhere. But sometimes they do come up with some really good NFTs, competitions and things like that. And you pay for those with candies, which are free. And I think we're coming to time. So loads and loads of other stuff that I could have gone through with this, but I just thought I'd give you a very quick flavour of what some of the things that CoinGecko can do and the information that you can get from it. So hopefully that was useful.
Excellent. That was brilliant, Simon. Thank you. I was also going to go through some BRC20 tokens this evening, but we have already gone over. I would be interested to see a show of hands, though, if anybody has heard of BRC20 tokens or are any way involved in them at all. We've only got one. Okay, two. Robert, you're involved in them too. Good to see. Okay, look, on the next meetup, I am going to talk to you about BRC20 tokens. I'm going to talk to you about SRC20 tokens. I'm going to talk to you about all the activity that's going on Bitcoin, the layer 2s, and focus the meetup a little bit around that sector, not for the whole meetup, but we will talk about it a little bit. That entire market sector at the moment is taking a little bit of a hit. But now is a great time to be scooping up the tokens that are going to have utility. But really, all new RC20 are getting crazy. Yeah, look, it's the stuff going on Bitcoin at the moment is a little bit nuts. And if you go down the rabbit hole, you'll be lost in it forever. So hopefully I'll be able to summarize it all for you, let you know exactly what's going on. And get you into the loop with it, so you are on top of the hottest trend that seems to be happening at the moment. But look, don't forget, next week we'll be back on the Tuesday with Simon. We'll be back here on the Thursday then for us. Henrique, you were the only one that put in that you wanted one of those tickets to the tech summit. So I wrote down your email address here. I'll email you and get all the details that I need. And I'll register you for that ticket. So
Fantastic.
I will.
Thank you so much. That would be great. And I'll come along and see you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
No problem. Paul, thanks very much for coming in as well. I know you didn't speak. There's been quite a lot of people that didn't jump in on the conversation this evening. Hopefully next time you will. It'd be great to have you all back again for the next meetup. But that's it for this evening. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you again soon. Have a lovely evening.
See you all.
Paula.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Bye-bye.
Guys, bye.
Bye, everybody. See you, Dorothy. See you, Jacinth. See you, Henrique.
Bye all. Bye.
Hi,
See you
Paula.
now. Bye. See you. Victor, you hang on there. I'll talk to you when it goes quiet. See you, Kevin. See you, Pragna. There we go. Now, Victor.
Stop recording.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
Good idea. Yeah.